100 pull, with Jordy Ball being anywhere from second. Honestly, I think third was her lowest ranking in some of those. And Billy Andrews, usually it's those two. There was one that had Kate Kaneda.
Weekdays from 1 to 2 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness. And now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is Nebraska's premier NIL company. And with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new openings in sales, marketing, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Full-time roles offer a 4.5-day work week, along with flexible internships in most areas. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Find your fit today at www.sandhills.jobs.
The good sports at Bison don't just manufacture sports equipment. Our employees watch, play, coach, and support student athletes at all levels. We're proud sponsors of the NSAA and big fans of the state basketball tournaments. Good luck to all the teams and welcome to Lincoln. If your team needs new basketball, volleyball, soccer, or other sports equipment, visit www.bisoninc.com or call 800-247-7668. Or pick up a basketball hoop for your driveway at Nebraska Sports or Shields.
Score big this month at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln and rule the terrain on a Segway Fugelman UT10X. Now is your chance to get into a side-by-side for only $12,000 out the door. That's right, just $12,000. And this bad boy stacks up to all the other name brands. Plus, you get Segway's signature smart commanding system featuring airlock, drive settings, safety alerts, and more. Hurry in now. Elway Power Sports only has 2 left at this blowout price. Swing by their new 27th and I-80 location or shop their inventory at elwaypslincoln.com.
When it comes to joining the Nebraska Army National Guard, you've heard it all before. College, healthcare, signing bonus. But joining is so much more than that. It's setting yourself up for a new and better chapter of your life. I'm Staff Sergeant Paul White, and because of the Nebraska Army National Guard, I'm in control of my career, and when the workday ends, I get to come home to my family. Write your next chapter by joining the Nebraska Army National Guard. For more information, schedule a meeting with me, Staff Sergeant Paul White at nationalguard.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is a presentation of the 2024 State Basketball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. State basketball broadcasts are presented by Union Bank and Trust, Southeast Community College, Platte Valley Equipment, Nebraska Hematology Oncology, Wingstop, Sandhills Global, Roofing Service Company, High Electric, Eustis Body Shop, the Nebraska Army National Guard, Pizza Ranch, Members Owned Credit Union, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Sunbelt Rentals, Acres, Ebb Concrete, Doane University, the Nebraska High School Sports Hall of Fame, and Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Now, calling all the action from Pinnacle Bank Arena, here's Nick Sainert and Jay Foreman.
Welcome into Championship Saturday as we are getting ready for the Class D1 Boys State title between the Ainsworth Bulldogs and the Johnson Brock Eagles. Nick Sainert, Jay Foreman with you here at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Harrison Arns back in our 93.7 The Ticket studios. Jay, good slate of basketball today. We got 3 games on tap before we hand it off to the Omaha Supernovas down in Orlando. 3 really good games that we're going to have on our station. Obviously, Class D1 up first at 11 a.m. or around that time. It's Class C1 between Wahoo and Auburn, and then Class B with Norris and Omaha Scott.
Yeah, we got a doozy here coming up this morning. The Johnson Brock is undefeated. Then you're going against the Ainsworth Bulldogs, obviously led by Carter Nelson. But Nick, to be honest with you, I've coached against Johnson Brock a few times in the summer, and the Dallinghouse twins are pretty good players, and they're going to come in and compete. And so to start off with the Nebraska football recruit coming all the way from Ainsworth and leading his team to the state championship against a well-established program and defending state champion in Johnson Brock, you couldn't start off Championship Saturday in a better way.
Well, it worked out kind of well for Ainsworth, right? Because in their part of the bracket in Class D1, you had an 8-1 upset. So the 8 seed GACC knocked off North Platte St. Pat's on Wednesday morning. So that was kind of a nice way, or I should say Thursday morning rather. That was kind of a nice way to kind of get welcomed into the semifinals, right? Because then Ainsworth is able to beat the 5 seed Dundee County Stratton. We were on site for that game, but instead of having to play number 1 North Platte St. Pat's, you had to play number 8 GACC, which maybe depth-wise just was a better matchup for Ainsworth.
Yeah, it was. And then look, Carter Nelson and Ainsworth put on a really good performance when they played DCS in their first round match. And then look, you got a 13-13 team that upset North Platte. And however you get here, it happens. We've seen some upsets here, obviously in Class B yesterday with Crete. So the two best teams are here playing, and it's not necessarily, especially in these classes, Nick, is that they don't see each other enough.
Yeah.
So you have to come off essentially the point system, but it's all based on who you play and point differential and all that. And so sometimes teams like Ainsworth is probably a lot better and seated a little bit too low than they are.
I mean, it is interesting because Ainsworth, their record's not going to jump off the page. They're 19-7 on the season, but they have some really good pieces. In addition to Carter Nelson, one guy that gets overlooked is a guy like Trey Apple. Another one is Tragan McNally. There's a lot of pieces on this team that can hurt Johnson Brock other than just Carter Nelson's explosiveness.
Trey Apple is the real deal. I mean, he's a great athlete himself, and if Carter Nelson wasn't on the team, we'd be talking about exclusively Trey Apple. He's a 3-star athlete. He's everything out there. He's a legit 6'4", 6'5", can jump, can shoot, has probably a little bit more legitimate range than Carter Nelson, but they play phenomenally together where Carter Nelson will get going and Trey Apple will pick up the slack. And then right when you think you have, both of them corralled, here come McNeely, and then the rest of the complementary pieces play off of that. And then when you got Johnson Brock, the Dallinghouse twins is what set the table. And then you got Govert over there as well. So they have a lot of depth here. And you have, the funny thing, it's like Carter Nelson and Trey Apple and McNeely against a set of brothers over there where you got the Gravett twins and obviously the Dallinghouse twins as well.
I mean, you look at these two teams, Ainsworth looking for their first state title since they won it in C1 action back in 2007, while Johnson Brock searching for their first state title since I guess they won it last year in 2023, but looking to go back to back here in 2024. All right, we're just moments away from tip-off. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll have starting lineups and tip-off from Pinnacle Bank Arena between Johnson Brock and Ainsworth coming up next on 93.7 The Ticket.
You had to know that when Wingstop set out to make a crispy, juicy chicken sandwich, they wouldn't make it in just one flavor. They'd make it in all 12, like lemon pepper, mango habanero, hickory smoked barbecue, and OG hot. So why have one new favorite chicken sandwich when you can have 12? Try the new sauced and tossed Wingstop chicken sandwich today for only $5.49 at Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Valid for a limited time and available at participating Wingstop locations only while supplies last. Price subject to applicable taxes and fees.
At Southeast Community College, community is our middle name. Our continuing education classes offer personal interest, traffic safety and licensing, online learning, and adult education classes across Southeast Nebraska, or online in your own home. Learn pottery or floral design, take a computer course, learn Spanish, how to start writing a book, or Air Fryer 101. See the full schedule of continuing education classes online at southeast.edu/continuing. SCC, your path to possible.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career? Or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
High school basketball fans, take a trip over to the Nebraska High School Sports Hall of Fame while you're in town for state hoops. Admission is free, and it's a great way to learn about some of the greatest athletes and teams to come out of the state, from recently to over 100 years ago in all sports. Learn more about names like Gale Sayers, Johnny Rogers, Bob Gibson, Tom Osborne, and more. Open Wednesday through Friday from 1 to 4 p.m. It's the Nebraska High School Sports Hall of Fame, just north of Haymarket Park at 500 Charleston Street. The Coach's Pep Talk. Done well, it creates strong team unity, improves motivation, and attitude. So when Platte Valley Equipment says they're here to help you succeed, you'll have their 100% support to help you handle any task with their John Deere equipment that gets the job done every time. And with low monthly payments, well, that should be some serious motivation to visit PlatteValleyEquipment.com. Proud sponsor of the 2024 NSAA Boys and Girls High School State Basketball Tournament.
Acres is bringing you the nation's largest indoor display of John Deere equipment and technology. Acres 2024 Ag and Turf Expo showcases everything from tillage and planting to application and harvest. We'll also offer the latest industry insights from ag professionals across the state. Join us in Grand Island at Fauner Park March 21st and 22nd. Go to acres.com/expo24 for a complete schedule of speakers and activities.
Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends. That's the greatest compliment we can receive. If you've been in an accident, we'll get you back in your vehicle as quickly as possible. Our technicians care about you and your family and repair your vehicle to factory standards. We handle your claim from start to finish and provide a free loaner car. Stop by for a free estimate. Eustace Body Shop, just south of 88th and Highway 2.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Nebraska Corn Board is expanding access to higher blends of ethanol across the United States, including in California. The Nebraska Corn Board is partnered with Pearson Fuels, who is the largest and fastest growing distributor of E85 in the state of California. In 2023, California sold 120 million gallons of E85, an increase of 55% since 2021. The Nebraska Corn Board, enhancing demand, adding value, ensuring sustainability.
As the chief buffet officer here at Pizza Ranch, I get all kinds of buffet questions. Here's one from Cole.
Is there a real cactus in your cactus bread?
Great question, Cole. No, there is no cactus in our cactus bread, just sweet cinnamony streusel. It's on our buffet every day, along with pizza, chicken, ice cream, and all your other favorites. Even better, at least for your parents, kids eat free on Tuesday nights. And don't worry, Cole, there's no coal in our coleslaw either.
Pizza Ranch, everyone's favorite buffet.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Here you go. Coffee's on me and my new BFF. I thought I was your best friend forever. BFF like best financial friend at Members Own Credit Union. Right now, they're offering $100 when you consolidate or transfer a loan or an existing credit card balance and meet requirements. Plus, you get great rates and free advice from a financial partner that will put you first.
That sounds like a match made in heaven.
Members Own Credit Union is the type of bestie you can count on. Get started today at memberzonecu.org/BFF. Limitations may apply. Equal housing opportunity.
All right, welcome back in Pinnacle Bank Arena here ahead of the Class D1 state title game. Number 4, Ainsworth against number 2, Johnson Brock. Let's start with the starting lineups first for the number 4 seed, the Ainsworth Bulldogs, 20-7 on the year, led by head coach Jake Nelson. They were able to knock off DCS and GACC en route to today's state championship game. Same starting five for them as earlier this week. Number 5, a 5'9 senior, Tragan McNally. He averages 16.5 for the Bulldogs. Number 11, a 5'6 junior guard, Jacob Held. Number 12, a 5'11 junior forward, Logan Schradel. Number 22, a 6'5 senior forward, averaging 16.5 as well, Carter Nelson. And number 24, a 6'4 senior forward, averaging 17.5, Trey Apple. Jay, what do you like about Ainsworth?
Well, I like everything that they do. They have the three-headed monster, but I think when you have Schrodel and Held that come in and provide timely scoring, that's why they've been able to upset some teams and then get to the state championship. But it's not just Carter Nelson. You have Apple and McNally who can lead the way as well. So you have consistent scoring, but different than other teams that leaned on 3 players. They play all together and they pick and choose their spots. That's why they've been pretty successful so far.
Next up, Johnson Brock Eagles, the number 2 seed here in Class D1 action, as they were able to knock off Riverside. And then, the Plainview Pirates, in the semifinal. Johnson Brock 27-0 on the year. Been to the state tournament 11 times, led by head coach Lucas Dollinghouse. Starting 5-4, Coach Dollinghouse. Number 3, a 5'9 senior guard, Sloan Pelican. Number 5, a 6'2 junior guard, averaging 15 points per game, Camden Dollinghouse. Number 11, a 6'2 sophomore guard, averaging 12.5 points per game, Brody Kohler. Number 13, a 6'2 junior guard, Kaysen Dollinghouse. And number 30, a 6-foot senior forward, Leighton Behrens. Jay, you look up and down this roster, right? And height is a heavily advantage in Ainsworth's favor.
Right, and I'd probably say athletic ability just because of Carter Nelson. But the one thing about it is the Dollinghouse twins, coached by their dad, are veteran players, and they're really good players, along with Kohler. So, Ainsworth has their work cut out for them because the way that Johnson Brock plays, they play with an edge, but they know how to score effectively against bigger teams. Listen, they've faced tough competition ever since they started been playing basketball, and they're the defending state champs.
All right, so we're ready to tip things off here as Carter Nelson and Ainsworth wins it, as McNally will bring it across the timeline. Right to left go the Ainsworth Bulldogs in their road red uniforms. Top of key, McNally left side to Held. Held now back to McNally. McNally working on the left side. Reminder, no shot clock here in any Class B, low Class B. So in this game and next game, we will not have a shot clock up until the 1 p.m. contest. As McNally has it near corner now, back to McNally. McNally to Nelson. Nelson down low. He is fouled on the pass attempt, and it'll be a baseline inbound for Ainsworth.
Yeah, it was a good job there of patience of Ainsworth getting it in and around the 3-point circle. And then once Carter Nelson was able to flash to the high post, drew the foul on Johnson Brock there.
All right, so now, once again, baseline inbound. They get it into Apple, short on the floater, and the rebound is controlled by Johnson Brock. And here we go with Brady Kohler. Kohler across the timeline, left side, Dollinghouse. Dollinghouse now to Camden Dollinghouse, into the corner, Kohler. Kohler now back to number 3, Sloan Pelican. 3 ball on the way, and it's no good by Camden Dollinghouse, and the rebound goes into the hands of Nelson.
Yeah, good defensive series there for Ainsworth. I look for them to try to run off of missed shots and maybe a quick in on a make, but nevertheless, good job there.
Backdoor cut here down on the glass, and Apple gets our first 2 of the game with a right-handed layup.
Yeah, that was set up there by Schroeder right there. A good pass there to Apple. Ainsworth on early.
So here comes Johnson Brock, undefeated on the year. Left side, it's Dollinghouse. Dribbles to the top of the key, now picks up his dribble, looking the other way, finds Leighton Behrens with it at the top of the key. Right side, here we go with Dollinghouse in the lane, and he is bumped and fouled en route to the goal. It's foul on the floor.
The Dollinghouse twins, they're both really good scorers, but Camden, number 5, is probably the scorer, better scorer than the other brother, but Kaysen's a capable player as well.
So here on the left side, it's Dollinghouse, 4-3 from the left side. Can't get it to fall, and the rebound once again for Carter Nelson, as here comes Trey Alpel at the point forward. Running on the right side, it's now McNally. McNally gets it down to Apple. Apple looking around to Held in the far corner. Held will dribble the right wing to Apple. Apple for 3, and he connects. Apple's got 5 early ones.
Yeah, when you talk about Apple, everybody talks about Carter Nelson, but I'm telling you, man, he's a real deal player. We got to watch him on Thursday, and I was very impressed with him.
So here is Johnson Brock down 5-0 early on. It's Sloan Pelican with it, working against Held, now top of the key, and we have an offensive foul on Sloan Pelican. That's his first.
Yeah, look, a little bit overzealous there on the screen. He's a big fella, man, and so he has to get set because these Ainsworth Bulldogs are trying to provide some pressure out there to get the speed up the pace of Johnson Brock.
So Ainsworth with the basketball working across the timeline. Here's McNally. Right side to Schradel. Schradel top of the key now to Appelt. Appelt with it, dribbles it to the right side. Looking around, passes back to McNally. McNally down low, Nelson. Nelson just outside of the lane, working on posting up the defender. Fadeaway jumper, and Gardner Nelson gets on the scoreboard.
Yeah, being 6'5", and obviously probably 40-inch vertical, you can see up and over the defense, and let alone that was a pretty smooth jumper there by the Nebraska recruit.
So Nelson already 2 points, 2 boards for Ainsworth here in the first 2.5 minutes of play. Left side, Sloan Pelican with it. Dribbles into the fingernail, now back out to Dollenhouse. Dollenhouse right side to Behrens. Leighton Behrens passes now back left side to Sloan Pelican. Pelican with it across the key to the right side. Here's Dollenhouse. Stops the elbow, jumper on the way. And finally, Johnson Brock is on the scoreboard. They trail 7-2.
Really, the Dollenhouse twins lead the way, but Kohler, good jumper there right at the elbow.
Yes, that's my mistake. Brady Kohler with that jumper, not Dollenhouse. Correct me. 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. 7-2 your score. Ainsworth on the top by 5 as Nelson, works on the right elbow. Passes left side to Held. Held working on the defender. Left side, Appelt now on the wing. Appelt dribbling down the right side of the lane. Off the glass, way too strong. A nice rebound that time. It's Dollenhouse as he'll bring it across the timeline. So number 13, Kaysen Dollenhouse. Cross-court pass into the corner. And the layup is blocked by Nelson on the attempt by Brody Kohler.
Yeah, Kohler went in there, and he would just realize up close and personal why Carter Nelson is the real deal, why Nebraska coach Matt Rule is excited about him. But, the one thing about that on the defensive end, Ainsworth starting fast has made Johnson Brock go to man-to-man defense.
So here is Sloan Pelican down low in the lane. Leighton Behrens kicks it out to Dollenhouse. Dollenhouse on the right side, spins along the baseline, stops at the right elbow, looks around. And a little miscommunication, but is tracked down near the timeline by Kohler. Here's Pelican. Pelican in the lane. Right-handed layup. Tough shot. That was a tough angle, but an offensive rebound for JB. Left side 3-ball, and it's good for number 5, Camden Dollenhouse.
Yeah, I mentioned him earlier. He's the scorer out of the 2, and he has a really good shot from deep 3.
That one didn't touch any part of the rim. It's 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. 7-5 Ainsworth as Johnson Brock in a little 5-0 spurt. Left side, Apple trying to answer with a 3 of his own. Can't do so. Rebound tipped out into the hands of Behrens for Johnson Brock. Here comes Pelican. Pelican along the right side. Now to Kohler. Kohler back to Pelican in the near corner. Pelican passes left side. Here is Dollenhouse. Dollenhouse in the lane, and we're tied up at 7.
One thing Ainsworth has to get back to doing is trying to use their height and athletic ability advantage against Johnson Brock. If they get into a run and gun technical game, they will lose it. So they got to make sure they try to just play through Carter Nelson, Apple, and they'll be just fine.
On the right side, here's McNally. McNally, fadeaway jumper. That's a tough shot. Offensive board held. Held bounces it out to Nelson in the far corner. Nelson right in front of Johnson Brock's bench. Will dribble to the right wing. Now working, posting up, down low to Held. Held back out left wing. McNally for 3, and that one misses badly. And the rebound goes into the hands of Behrens.
Yeah, the Ainsworth offense looks a little bit static right now. They need to get a little bit more movement, but they got to start playing better on defense because Johnson Brock's starting to heat up here.
On the right side, here is Dollenhouse to Kohler. Kohler on the left side, spins around, working on Held. Now right side to Camden Dollenhouse. Passes down low, Pelican. Pelican gets Apple in the air, and he draws the foul on the missed shot. He'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, Coach Nelson over there is telling Apple, no reason to jump because you probably have the height advantage against Pelican, probably, Nick, probably about 8 inches, right? So there's no reason to jump, make him shoot over you. But good job by Pelican. Ball fake, got into the defender, drew the foul. This is a great game to start off.
We have a timeout on the floor. We'll step aside for 60 seconds and come back. 2:40 to play in the first quarter. 7-7. We're all tied up here in D1 action.
The good sports at Bison don't just manufacture sports equipment. Our employees watch, play, coach, and support student athletes at all levels. We're proud sponsors of the NSAA and big fans of the state basketball tournaments. Good luck to all the teams and welcome to Lincoln. If your team needs new basketball, volleyball, soccer, or other sports equipment, visit www.bisoninc.com or call 800-247-7668. Or pick up a basketball hoop for your driveway at Nebraska Sports or Shields.
Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new openings in sales, marketing, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Full-time roles offer a 4.5-day work week, along with flexible internships in most areas. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Find your fit today at www.sandhills.jobs. Welcome back into Pinnacle Bank Arena. We're all tied up 7-7 here. First of 3 games on the docket. We'll have Class D1 here, Class C1 between Wahoo and Auburn, and then Class D between Norris and Omaha Skutt Catholic. As this one started out really, really strong. Ainsworth jumped out to a 7-0 lead. What's allowed Johnson Brock to come tie it up?
Well, just execution, and then Kohler got going there with the elbow jumper, and then Camden Dowlinghouse got to hit the 3. But what they've done is they've done a good job of shutting down Ainsworth and not allowing them to get any offensive rebounds. So they're on the mend right now.
So now Johnson Brock with a Sloan Pelican free throw takes the lead. And so they lead now 8-7 over Ainsworth.
You know, when you think about Barons and playing against 2 superior athletes, he already has 3 rebounds. So, you know, you wonder how people always say, how's Johnson Brock going to compete? Look, they have toughness, they have experience. And also, Nick, when you're undefeated, regardless of who you played against, you have a lot of confidence.
So here comes Ainsworth trailing by 2, 9-7. Johnson Brock in the midst of a 9-0 run over the last 2.5 minutes of game time. So here's McNally. McNally at the top of the key. Dribbling with his left hand. Now he switches over to his right. McNally stops. Bounce pass inside. Schradel gets the defender flying and a 2-hand slam by Carter Nelson.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Carter Nelson. 2-hand slam right off of 2 feet. Got the momentum back Ainsworth's way.
9-9. We're all tied up. Here on the right side, it's Dahlenhouse. Dahlenhouse top of the key now to Kohler. Kohler guarded by Held, and we have an offensive foul away from the ball on Johnson Brock.
Yeah, you know, Kohler there got a little bit overzealous, tried to get it there back to Camden Dahlenhouse, but nevertheless, Ainsworth is, you know, after that timeout, I think it actually worked in their favor, right? The TV timeout to get settled down a little bit, and what they do, go right back through Carter Nelson, look for McNally to try to get started here to try to build on this lead.
So here is Appold on the left side to Nelson. Nelson hands it off, underhand shovel pass now to McNally. McNally top of the key to Held, who passes to Carter Nelson directly in front of us. Nelson, top of the key, 1:40 to go in the first quarter. We're all tied up at 9. Nelson, pull-up jumper. He got bumped, and there's a foul as Nelson will go to the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, Kohler got a little bit overzealous, tried to close out too hard. You know, the one thing about Carter Nelson, he's a phenomenal athlete. I mean, I always say, how he moves is different than everybody in here at PBA. But, you know, he's a pretty good basketball player. He has a really smooth jumper. He doesn't play he plays at a really good pace, even though he's a really, obviously, high-wired athlete. And Barron tried to close out there, got him on the elbow. And so it's going to be interesting to see how they try to defense him, because one thing that Carter Nelson does, and he can do because he's 6'5" with long arms, he can see over any type of defender. And then when you can throw it to Apple, you start to get offensive rebounds just like that.
Nelson misses the 2 free throws. Appold on the offensive rebound, can't hit the 3. I will say something about Nelson here also is he passes the eye test, like his lower half, right? His legs are just so strong. You can see it when he's standing in front of you.
Yeah, I mean, look at, you know, he's probably about 210 right now. He could, football wise, he could carry, you know, 225, 240, you know, without even looking any different. So he's a great athlete, and he's springy. He's tough. He's actually pretty smart, you know, how he plays basketball, and he exudes confidence. But the great thing, he's not arrogant, you know, and there's a difference, right? And so he knows he's good. He just goes, and he plays pretty hard on the basketball court.
First free throw here on the other end for Johnson Brock is short. We're all still tied up 9-9 with 1:15 to go in the first quarter. So Dahlenhouse drew a foul on Trey Apple. And so now Dahlenhouse with one more free throw on the way. And it's good. It's 10-9. Johnson Brock with 1.5 to go.
Yeah, you know, I think Ainsworth is Coach Nelson over there probably wants to get McNally going a little bit. But I think, you know, against this zone, with their height advantage, you might want to try to work a little high-low there with Carter Nelson and Apple.
So McNally gets bumped by Pelican, now to Schradel. Schradel top of the key to Nelson. 58 seconds to play in the first quarter, 10-9. Johnson Brock over Ainsworth here in the D1 title game. Pass down low on the block to Schradel. Schradel looking for help, cross-court. Pass deflected, taken away. Here comes Kohler. Up the floor, Pelican. Pelican, right-hand layup, and it's 12-9.
Yeah, good defense right there. Got their hands on the cross-court pass meant for Nelson. Easy 2 points for Pelican. Another steal here by Kohler.
Another lazy pass is Kohler in the lane. It's good. It's 14-9 Johnson Brock.
Yeah, Coach Nelson's trying to get him to settle down. There's not a shot clock here. Trying to get a good possession. 3 straight turnovers there for Ainsworth.
So on the right side now, top of the key, Nelson. Nelson with 20 on the game clock. Another turnover. It's not going to be able to be saved from going out of bounds as Dallinghouse trying to flip it behind his back. So it's Ainsworth basketball with 18 seconds on the clock.
Right, yeah, a little bit of confusion here against the zone. They started out pretty fast against the zone. I think sometimes, what Coach Dallinghouse did, he started out in zone, started slow, went to man, and then went right back to the zone. Sometimes that confuses a team like Ainsworth, where you're used to playing against one type of defensive set.
Once again, Ainsworth was up 7-0 at one point. Nelson, left-hand layup, can't get it to fall. And we have a defensive rebound for Johnson Brock. Up the floor, here we go. Kohler for 3. Can't get it to go. There's the horn. And at the end of the first quarter, your score, Johnson Brock 14 and the Ainsworth Bulldogs 9 here as we enter the second quarter of play. We'll come right back in 60 seconds to start quarter number 2 on 93.7 The Ticket.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
At Southeast Community College, community is our middle name. Our continuing education classes offer personal interest, traffic safety and licensing, online learning, and adult education classes across Southeast Nebraska or online in your own home. Learn pottery or floral design, take a computer course, learn Spanish, how to start writing a book, or Air Fryer 101. See the full schedule of continuing education classes online at southeast.edu/continuing. SCC, your path to possible.
So Johnson Brock ended the first quarter on a 14-2 run. They trailed at one point 7-0, but here they are. They lead 14-9 as we enter the second quarter. Jay, kind of a transition from urgency for Ainsworth to laziness on a couple of those turnovers.
Yeah, they right now, Coach Nelson's over there telling them, like, look, we are our own worst enemy right now with lazy passes. And you also have to tell the guys at Ainsworth, the only way that Johnson Brock is going to score points against us in transition is we let them get out and run. They're very guard heavy, right? Where, Ainsworth starts 3 forwards. They start Johnson Brock starts 4 guards. And so you have to be very diligent about when you pass. But the one thing about Johnson Brock, they showed you why they're defending state champs and 25. They have multiple players that can score. You got Kohler, Dallinghouse twins. And then also, I think, when you see Pelican, the way that he was able to kind of get the run started, got in there, got appled up in the air, right, and got the 3-point play, that kind of kickstarted. And we saw that yesterday, right, in the Crete game, when Crete lost that on a 13-0 run by their opposition off of a foul on the 3-point play. So if I'm Ainsworth, I'm still going to keep – there's a lot of time to be played, Nick. But the one thing they need to do is try to get it up off the glass and use their height and athletic ability to their advantage.
So Johnson Brock basketball here to start the second quarter. There's something to note. Neither one of these teams really subbed a whole lot in that first quarter. All 5 starters back out there for Ainsworth, and they all played the entire first quarter as well. So entry pass now backs it out to the elbow, back to Behrens. Leighton Behrens with it. Now right side corner 3 on the way, and it's good for Kohler.
Yeah, listen, Kohler is a 3-point shooter as well. Everybody looks at the Dallinghouse brothers and twins, but Kohler is an established player himself.
So 17-9 is your score. Johnson Brock leads by 8 over Ainsworth. As Held has it on the right wing to Nelson. Nelson looking around. Gives it to McNally. McNally back to Nelson. Nelson holding the basketball over his head to Schradel. Cross-court pass from Nelson to Held. Held in the lane, gets bumped, and he is fouled by Johnson Brock.
That was a good job there by Held. You had the defense in the late rotation, drew the foul, and good patience there by Ainsworth. You're down by 8, so you're going to chip away against this veteran team from Johnson Brock.
Yeah, Johnson Brock shooting 54% from the field after they started 0 for 3. Now here we go with Nelson directly in front of us. Nelson on the left side Guarded by Kohler, bounces it to McNally. McNally been quiet today, still scoreless on the day for McNally. As Nelson has it inside, fights through the double team to Held. McNally gets pass taken away, and here comes Kohler. Kohler in transition. It's a 10-point Johnson Brock lead.
Yeah, every point or this lead has been built off of Ainsworth turnovers. Lazy pass, Held a little bit too much heat there, trying to throw it out to McNally.
Nelson down low to Apple, and he gets bumped on a little alley-oop layup, and he will go to the line to shoot one more.
Really good job there by Carter Nelson throwing it to his partner in crime, and that's what they have to do. They got to work inside, and the one thing against the zone, which we've seen, is that teams in Nebraska don't really know how to defeat a zone. They're not driving into the lane. They're just sitting out there at the three-point line. Really good job there by Ainsworth trying to use their height advantage.
Free throw is good. And so it's 19-12. Johnson Brock out in front by 7. So Apple has now 8 points on the day. 8 of the 12 points coming from number 24. As here comes Johnson Brock, top of the key. It's Pelican. Pelican working on Held to Kohler. Kohler steps back. Dollenhouse shoots the 3, and he hits.
Yeah, you got 3 3-point shooters there, and you can't leave them. I think if I'm Coach Nelson, I'm making sure it's Kohler and the Dollenhouse twins. You have to stay at home, and that's what they're doing. You can't play, I wouldn't say aggressive defense, but you have to be very, very detailed on when you double and when you hedge against Johnson Brock, or they'll kill you from 3-point range.
22-12 is where we stand. 6:06 to play in the second quarter. Let's step aside for 30 seconds. Come right back on 93.7 The Ticket.
As the chief buffet officer here at Pizza Ranch, I get all kinds of buffet questions. Here's one from Cole.
Is there a real cactus in your cactus bread?
Great question, Cole. No, there is no cactus in our cactus bread, just sweet cinnamony streusel. It's on our buffet every day, along with pizza, chicken, ice cream, and all your other favorites. Even better, at least for your parents, kids eat free on Tuesday nights. And don't worry, Cole, there's no coal in our coleslaw either.
Pizza Ranch, everyone's favorite buffet.
Nick Sander, Jay Foreman back with you from Pinnacle Bank Arena as Ainsworth out of their quick timeout. They have the basketball. Jumper on the way, rattles in and out, no good. Rebound tipped, and it's controlled by Johnson Brock as the Eagles lead by 10, 22-12. So
a little sub there for Ainsworth, trying to get some more shooting. Kenny has came in there for Held, so see if it sparks the offense a little bit.
On the right side here is Kohler. He'll try another 3. Can't connect, had a good line. Rebound tipped from Nelson to Apel. So now we'll have McNally coming across the timeline along the left side. McNally on the side, guarded by Pelican, now draws into the double team to Apple, back to McNally. McNally working on Dollenhouse, bounces it into the corner to Schradel, back to McNally, quick pass out top of the key, inside now Apple, and he traveled with it.
Yeah, good start to the offensive series, a little bit of a shuffle of the feet by Apple there, good call by the ref. If I was Ainsworth, Nick, against this zone, right, and especially, Johnson Brock is probably going to sit in this zone with this 10-point lead. Any missed shot, I have got to run. I got to get into a up and down game, especially with Carter Nelson and Apple. I think you get some easy points that way.
5:13 to go in the second quarter. Johnson Brock with it on the right side. It's Pelican, fakes right, goes into the lane, can't hit that layup. That's a tough shot for Sloan Pelican. And Ainsworth collects the miss and gets the defensive stop. Here comes Morgan Kinney. Kinney with it, top of the key to Apple, down to Nelson, inside-out game. McNally shoots the 3, and he can't connect. That was a nice little inside-out game between Nelson and McNally. Couldn't get a trifecta, though.
Yeah, this is a game that McNally's got to step up because they're going to need his outside shooting so they can go back inside to Carter Nelson.
Apple may have just twisted his ankle off the miss. Offensive board for Austin Meyer, and he gets his putback to go. Here's Apple with Ainsworth down by 12, 24-12. Johnson Brock has doubled up the Bulldogs here. 4:29 to play in the second quarter. McNally left side, Nelson. Nelson inside to Schradel, back out McNally. Quick pass out to the corner. Good ball movement here by Ainsworth, but now a pass inside is deflected and taken away. Sloan Pelican in the lane to a trailing Kohler. Layup too strong. Offensive board, Myers put back, can't get it. And Ainsworth cleans up the glass. Here comes a long pass up the floor. Apple stops, pops. And the jumper no good from the short corner.
Yeah, I think Coach Nelson would have liked Apple to go in there against one-on-one against against Kohler there and try to draw the foul and 2 points.
So here is Dollenhouse inside. Kicks out Pelican for 3. Just a little too strong. Good box out there by Kinney. And Morgan Kinney collects the defensive rebound.
Yeah, Ainsworth's got to settle down here. A little bit of frustration showed there by Carter Nelson and Apple. They got to be patient here against his zone. Good quick passes, but then also they got to get some shots at the hoop.
And now Nelson gets it poked away, and we have, I think, Johnson Brock was trying to call a timeout. That's a good call by the referee. As Johnson Brock, as soon as Sloan Pelican fell on that loose ball, the coach and the bench was clamoring for a timeout, and they're awarded it.
Yeah, that was a good look. I have experience playing against Johnson Brock, and the same problems that they're opposing to Ainsworth. I've had to play sometimes in the summer, and so they're a veteran unit. They all know how to play together. They play all summer ball together, so they have a lot of experience. And good job there by Coach Dallinghouse and his staff to call that time out there to keep the possessions and keep extra possessions. So they know in this Class D1. Once you kind of, I think that what's the magic number, Nick? About 14, right? Once you get that lead to about 14, it's extremely hard to come back or to lose that lead if you have good guard play, in which they have very good guard play.
Yeah, you look at this, just a couple of the trends going on right now is that it's not that Johnson Brock is shooting exceptionally well. They're just one of their last 7 from the field, but Ainsworth, 3 turnovers in their scoring drought that spanned almost the entire second quarter here as we have 3:26 to go in the second. 3 ball on the way. Austin Meyer can't get it to go. And we have a foul on Johnson Brock because that's going to go on Camden Dallenhouse.
Yeah, Dallenhouse got a little too aggressive there against McNally on the box out and got called for a foul there. Substitute now. Pelicans coming in for him. A little bit of aggressive play there, but for Ainsworth, anything that you can have go in a positive manner here in the next 3 minutes and 20 seconds is going to bode well for him going into halftime.
So 3:15 to go, second quarter. 24-12 is your score. On the left side, it's Carter Nelson down low. Good find. Kicks it out to McNally. McNally in the right side, just outside the block. Top of the key to Morgan Kinney. Kinney now to Schradel. 3:01 to go in the first half here at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Carter Nelson tries the 3, a little too strong. Rebound fought for, and it's out of bounds off of Ainsworth.
Yeah, the one thing about Ainsworth is that, they're doing a better job of passing, quick passes, but they need to start trying to test this zone, driving. They have the height and in a lot of ways the speed advantage compared to the height, against Johnson Brock. They're playing into the hands of Johnson Brock right now by not attacking the hoop.
So on the left side here is Johnson Brock. It's Dallenhouse now to Myers. Myers right side, Pelican to the right side in the corner to Chase Van Winkle. Now Kohler with it at the top of the key, stops in the fingernail, passes it off to Dallenhouse. Spin move, gets stood up by the brick wall that is Trey Apple. Now Kohler out to the corner. Austin Meyer for 3. Can't connect. And a defensive rebound for Trey McNally.
Yeah, for Ainsworth, a couple of positive results there on the defensive end. Now we got to get some action on offense and get right back in this game.
Yeah. Johnson Brock 0 for their last 5 shooting, but not that Ainsworth is doing much better 0 for their last 4.
Yeah, Nick, this lead by Johnson Brock has been built on what? Turnovers. Now you see the superior athletic ability of Carter Nelson. The only other time they scored where they kind of go like an alley-oop pass and they keep it above their head. Great. I mean, if I'm Matt Rule here, that looked like something we've had some red zone troubles, right?
Yeah.
I'm splitting him out and I'm going alley-oop pass there. That was a really good job there by Carter Nelson to be competitive, keep it above his head. 3-point play possibly on the way.
So Carter Nelson breaks Ainsworth's 4-minute scoring drought, but he misses the free throw, so it's just 2 points. 24-14, back to a 10-point differential. Here is Kohler, left side Pelican. Pelican dribbles down center of the lane, got Appled in the air, layup off the glass, no good, and Nelson cleans up the defensive rebound. Here comes Kinney, quick pass up the floor to Schradel. Schradel back to Kinney. Kinney left side to Nelson. 1:43 to go in the first half, 24-14. Kinney on the left side. That zone collapse. Now right side to Schradel. Schradel down to Kinney. Kinney on the block, backs it out and retreats to the perimeter, bounces it to the right wing. Schradel into the free throw line to Nelson to Apple. Apple, no look pass. McNally 3. Can't connect. Offensive board. Nelson. He is triple teamed. Kicks it out. McNally. Shot fake. Drives baseline. Stops. Kicks. Top of the key. Schradel. And he travels.
Schradel, you got it. That's a wide open 3. Coach Nelson and slaps his hands in a little bit of frustration. He's telling Schradel, you got to shoot that. Great ball movement. Actually, a great possession by Ainsworth right there. Missed the shot. Got the offensive rebound. You would have liked to seen him shoot that because you feel like you have Apple and Nelson underneath the hoop. So a little bit of frustration there, but there is some positive vibes there coming off that offensive series there by Ainsworth.
Yeah, Ainsworth now has committed 7 turnovers to just Johnson Brock's 2 on the day. So 1:04 to play, second quarter. Right side here is Myers. Myers on the right wing, takes one dribble, passes into the near side. Now Myers back with it. Right wing pass almost taken away, and a foul is going to be whistled on Schradel.
Yeah, Schradel trying to up the pace there, get the steal. A little bit of frustration. A 50-50 ball, a subjective call, but if I'm Coach Nelson, I like that, though, right? You don't want your team to sit back and let Johnson Brock bleed this last minute off the clock. And but I like Schradel trying to go get forced to action. I think it's his second foul now. He's getting subbed out here. But, look, I like it. You know where the frustration comes from. Schradel's still mad at himself for not shooting that open 3, but I like the intensity, though.
So here's Sloan Pelican on the right side. Pelican will dribble near the logo, guarded by McNally. Pelican, a broad young man, is now right side. Here's Kohler, and we have a whistle and a foul defensively on Ainsworth.
Yeah, Kenny got matched up against a bigger Kohler, tried to body him up because Kohler thought that he could go to the hoop. But, called there for a body foul. Again, these are all legitimate fouls that if I'm Coach Nelson, I can deal with.
So now here on the right wing, it's Kohler. Kohler in the corner, dribbles right elbow, kicks it out Pelican. Pelican takes one dribble, passes now to Chase Van Winkle. Van Winkle back to Pelican. Pelican spinning around, trying to get it to Kohler. Now does. 29 seconds on the game clock here in the second quarter as Kohler has it near the logo. Dribbles to the left side near the timeline. Now Kohler hesitates, now works on Morgan Kenny. Almost got it poked away, almost got undercut. Now as Kohler has it, stops left side, down low, pass taken away by Kenny. Here comes Nelson. Nelson up the floor, bounce past McNally. 6 on the game clock and a travel on McNally.
Yeah, that's the third one there on Ainsworth. That was a tough call there because a really good job there by McNally and Kenny to get the steal because obviously Johnson Brock was going to try to bleed the clock. That's a tough break there for Ainsworth Bulldogs.
So Johnson Brock will have 5 seconds to work with as they inbound it here to Dollinghouse. Dollinghouse with it. Kenny falls down. Dollinghouse right side. Kohler for 3. That one's off target. And that is the end of the first half. A nice answer after Ainsworth jumped out to a 7-0 lead. Johnson Brock then went on a 24-7 run over the last quarter and a half. And they go into the halftime break, leading 24-14 here in the Class D1 title game on 93.7 The Ticket. Score big this month at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln and rule the terrain on a Segway Fugelman UT10X. Now is your chance to get into a side-by-side for only $12,000 out the door. That's right, just $12,000. And this bad boy stacks up to all the other name brands. Plus, you get Segway's signature smart commanding system featuring airlock, drive settings, safety alerts, and more. Hurry in now. Elway Power Sports only has 2 left at this blowout price. Swing by their new 27th and I-80 location or shop their inventory at elwaypslincoln.com. The Coach's Pep Talk. Done well, it creates strong team unity, improves motivation, and attitude. So when Platte Valley Equipment says they're here to help you succeed, you'll have their 100% support to help you handle any task with their John Deere equipment that gets the job done every time. And with low monthly payments, well, that should be some serious motivation to visit PlatteValleyEquipment.com. Proud sponsor of the 2024 NSAA Boys and Girls High School State Basketball Tournament.
The good sports at Bison don't just manufacture sports equipment. Our employees watch, play, coach, and support student athletes at all levels. We're proud sponsors of the NSAA and big fans of the state basketball tournaments. Good luck to all the teams and welcome to Lincoln. If your team needs new basketball, volleyball, soccer, or other sports equipment, visit www.bisonink.com or call 800-247-7668. Or pick up a basketball hoop for your driveway at Nebraska Sports or Shields.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
If you have a fence, patio, or landscaping project to complete this spring, Sunbelt Rentals is here to help with augers and auger drives in various sizes, plus electric concrete mixers. For tree trimming projects, they have a great selection of chainsaws, pole saws, and hedge trimmers, along with a towable lift or ladder to get you where you need to be. Sunbelt Rentals has everything you need to make your spring projects easy. Sunbelt Rentals, online at sunbeltrentals.com.
High school basketball fans, take a trip over to the Nebraska High School Sports Hall of Fame while you're in town for state hoops. Admission is free, and it's a great way to learn about some of the greatest athletes and teams to come out of the state, from recently to over 100 years ago in all sports. Learn more about names like Gale Sayers, Johnny Rogers, Bob Gibson, Tom Osborne, and more. Open Wednesday through Friday from 1 to 4 p.m. It's the Nebraska High School Sports Hall of Fame, just north of Haymarket Park at 500 Charleston Street.
Hey guys, it's Bill Bush. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty has opened a new location in Pender, Nebraska, in addition to their office in Lincoln. The real estate world can be confusing, so why wouldn't you want an expert helping you every step of the way? If you're looking to buy or sell farmland in Nebraska, Kansas, or Iowa, give Ethan Sorensen a call today at 402-380-0432 or visit them online at nextagrealestate.com. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty with locations in Lincoln and now Pender, Nebraska.
You had to know that when Wingstop set out to make a crispy, juicy chicken sandwich, they wouldn't make it in just one flavor. They'd make it in all 12, like lemon pepper, mango habanero, hickory smoked barbecue, and OG hot. So why have one new favorite chicken sandwich when you can have 12? Try the new sauced and tossed Wingstop chicken sandwich today for only $5.49 at Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Valid for a limited time and available at participating Wingstop locations only while supplies last. Price subject to applicable taxes and fees.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers, and if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Don't allow uninvited guests to take over your home. Trust Bats to Rats for a peaceful and rodent-free living space.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career? Or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Nebraska Corn Board is expanding access to higher blends of ethanol across the United States, including in California. The Nebraska Corn Board is partnered with Pearson Fuels, who is the largest and fastest growing distributor of E85 in the state of California. In 2023, California sold 120 million gallons of E85, an increase of 55% since 2021. The Nebraska Corn Board, enhancing demand, adding value, ensuring sustainability.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new openings in sales, marketing, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Full-time roles offer a 4.5-day work week, along with flexible internships in most areas. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Find your fit today at www.sandhills.jobs.
Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends. That's the greatest compliment we can receive. If you've been in an accident, we'll get you back in your vehicle as quickly as possible. Our technicians care about you and your family and repair your vehicle to factory standards. We handle your claim from start to finish and provide a free loaner car. Stop by for a free estimate. Eustace Body Shop, just south of 88th and Highway 2.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
At Southeast Community College, community is our middle name. Our continuing education classes offer personal interest, traffic safety and licensing, online learning, and adult education classes across Southeast Nebraska or online in your own home. Learn to ride a motorcycle, how to start a small business, how to dance, or take a course to advance in your current career path. See the full schedule of continuing education classes online at southeast.edu/continuing. SCC, your path to possible.
The good sports at Bison don't just manufacture sports equipment. Our employees watch, play, coach, and support student athletes at all levels. We're proud sponsors of the NSAA and big fans of the state basketball tournaments. Good luck to all the teams and welcome to Lincoln. If your team needs new basketball, volleyball, soccer, or other sports equipment, visit www.bisoninc.com or call 800-247-7668. Or pick up a basketball hoop for your driveway at Nebraska Sports or Shields.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Here you go. Coffee's on me and my new BFF.
I thought I was your best friend forever.
BFF like best financial friend at Members Owned Credit Union. Right now, they're offering $100 when you consolidate or transfer a loan or an existing credit card balance and meet requirements. Plus, you get great rates and free advice from a financial partner that will put you first.
That sounds like a match made in heaven.
Members Owned Credit Union is the type of bestie you can count on. Get started today at memberzonecu.org/BFF. Limitations may apply. Equal housing opportunity.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Acres is bringing you the nation's largest indoor display of John Deere equipment and technology. Acres 2024 Ag and Turf Expo showcases everything from tillage and planting to application and harvest. We'll also offer the latest industry insights from ag professionals across the state. Join us in Grand Island at Fauner Park March 21st and 22nd. Go to acres.com/expo24 for a complete schedule of speakers and activities.
You had to know that when Wingstop set out to make a crispy, juicy chicken sandwich, they wouldn't make it in just one flavor. They'd make it in all 12, like lemon pepper, mango habanero, hickory smoked barbecue, and OG hot. So why have one new favorite chicken sandwich when you can have 12? Try the new sauced and tossed Wingstop chicken sandwich today for only $5.49 at Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Valid for a limited time and available at participating Wingstop locations only while supplies last. Price subject to applicable taxes and fees.
Welcome back into Pinnacle Bank Arena. 24-14 is your score at the half, as we are just about a minute away from starting the third quarter. By the way, halftime sponsored by Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Visit them online at nextagrealestate.com with locations in Lincoln and now Pender, Nebraska. All right, Jay, here we are. Ainsworth jumped out to a 7-0 lead, but then we're victim to a 24-7 run in return by Johnson Brock.
Right.
What's Ainsworth got to do differently?
Well, they got to get McNally going, right? He's got the goose egg going in the first half. And then I think they need to work a little bit more through Carter Nelson to get, some good vibes going there with Apple in him. I think they dominated as far as their size and strength inside, but you need the outside shot to hit from McNally. And I know that looking at him, he's pretty focused. Now, the one thing they have to do is stop turning over the ball. Yeah. Kohler from Johnson Brock has all 5 of the steals. All 5 of those steals have led to 10 points. What's the difference, Nick? 24-14. That's where you've that's where you gain that deficit and gain the lead if you're Johnson Brock is the steals.
Yes, McNally will bring it across the timeline. He had 13 in their first round win and 20 in his second round win. And as Jay mentioned, still scoreless here today as McNally has in the near corner to Nelson. Nelson working against the defender. Pull-up jumper on the way, short, and the rebound tipped out to Ainsworth. Apple with a three left side. That one's short and held another opportunity. He'll pop a three. That one's blocked out of bounds, saved from going out of bounds, rather. And it'll be a foul on Ainsworth after a couple of bodies tumbled.
Great extra effort there by Barron, saving the ball, getting it to Kohler there, and then obviously force held there to foul him. But you know what? If I'm Ainsworth, I'd like that offensive series, right? You get an open shot, you miss it, you use your size and strength to get it, you try to throw it up against the backboard. You have got to start to creating some chaos against this zone because you are not trying to drive against it.
So 7:27 to go in the third quarter left side. Here is Dallinghouse for three, and Johnson Brock picks up right where they left off.
Yeah, Kaysen can shoot just as good as Camden, and Camden's the higher scorer on average, but Kaysen's just a capable scorer as well.
On the right side, we have a foul on Pelican, and so that is going to be team foul number 1 on Johnson Brock.
You know, if I'm Ainsworth now, the reason why I say you need to drive against this zone, because you got to think you have both the Dallinghouse twins with 2 fouls, and you got Pelican with 2 fouls. If you can start to getting them some foul trouble, you can take advantage of your athletic ability.
Touch pass into Nelson, kicks out McNally for 3, and that's a big one for Trey McNally.
There you go. If you want to get into that lead, hit 1 or 2 outside shots, then you can open it up for the big guys in the middle.
So McNally pulls them back down within 10, 27-17. Kohler tries to answer, and he can. It's 30-17.
Yeah, the phone is ringing, and he's going to answer every single time. I mean, the one thing that Johnson Brock does, they have 3 excellent three-point shooters. You cannot leave any one of them open.
So on the left side here is Schradel. Schradel now to Nelson. Nelson guarded by Pelican. Pelican forces the jumper, way too strong. Nelson airballed it, and it's a defensive rebound. Here comes Johnson Brock. Out and running, it's Dallinghouse. Dallinghouse now to his brother.
Right.
Once again, on the left side, Pelican for 3. Can't connect with a tip try. No good by Kohler. And Apple cleans up the miss for Ainsworth.
Yeah, good run here by Johnson Brock. Ainsworth was able to get the stop, but they need to start getting some better shots on offense, even after McNally hit that 3.
So Ainsworth right side here is held. Held with a screen right by Schradel. Now retreats to the perimeter. Gets trapped in the corner to Schradel near the timeline. As this one's deflected out of bounds off of Kohler. 5:52 to go, third quarter, 30-17, Johnson Brock.
You know, Nick, this has been a trend for Ainsworth. This is where the difference in the game has been. It's been the passing. And people always talk about ball handling. Ball handling just isn't the fancy dribbles. It's the passings that, what do we always say, Nick? On time and on target. And Ainsworth has been off target today.
Here is Carter Nelson on the left side. Looking back, Applethwaite has to pass to Schradel. Now back out to Nelson, 10 feet behind the three-point line. So here, top of the key, it's McNally. McNally holding the basketball above his head, gets it to Nelson in the fingernail. Nelson's pass deflected, taken away, and another Ainsworth interception, turnover, and a block on the other end by Nelson. But guess who's right there to put it in? It's Leighton Barons.
Yeah, and Carter Nelson with the big block there, and he needed his other troops right there to rally and get there, and then they were not there. They need a little bit more effort there by Ainsworth.
Jumper by McNally is just a little too strong, bounced out, and the defensive rebound by Johnson Brock. Here comes Dallinghouse. 32-17. Johnson Brock starting to pull away in the lane. Kohler back out. Dallinghouse. 3-ball on the way, and it no good, but a tip try is good by Kohler.
No, that was Kohler there. Still, look, one thing that's apparent right now, the championship pedigree of Coach Dallinghouse, that he challenged his troops at halftime with more energy. They smelled blood in the water, and Ainsworth let them take advantage of them right now. Not only did they go in with a 10-point lead, they came out and extended with seven more points, down by 17, and it has to do with effort and lazy passes and moving without the basketball. So if I'm Ainsworth, I got to find a way to up the pace, but also I got to start playing with some more urgency.
It's a 7-0 run over just less than 2 minutes of play for Johnson Brock, as Ainsworth in a scoring drought that spanned over 2 minutes as well. And so Johnson Brock leads 34-17. You look at a couple of these things. Johnson Brock shooting 30% from beyond the line, while Ainsworth just 20% beyond the three-point arc.
Yeah, and the overall field goal percentage for Ainsworth is 29%. And where you think of Apple, he's 3 of 9, Carter Nelson 3 of 7, McNally 1 of 6, and then Held and Schroeder are only 0 for 1. And so when you look at it, the 3 big dogs from Ainsworth, are struggling a little bit, but I think some of their struggles are self-induced, right? Where you think of I said Kohler had all 5 steals in the first half. The only steal in the second half is Kohler. So Kohler is making hay by playing the passing lanes. And so what Ainsworth has to do a better job of is get back to that quick passing game, try to work some high-low action with Apple and Carter Nelson. It's too much laziness going on, and Johnson Brock is playing with a lot of energy with active hands and active feet.
So down on the short corner, here's Apple, draws the double team, layup in the lane is
Go.
good. He's able to hit it over the top of 2 defenders.
Yeah, use that size and strength, even though they're running in that 2-3 zone. They can get it up and over those guys on the glass.
So Johnson Brock left side, here is Dollenhouse. Dollenhouse back out to his brother. Right side 3 ball, too short, and the rebound corralled for a moment by Ainsworth. Now they fully get it up the floor. Here comes Nelson. Nelson layup off the glass. It's good.
What do you have to do against the zone, Nick? You either shoot it out of the zone or run it out of the zone. And so now you got Johnson Brock, thinking twice about trying to speed the game up.
34-21 your score, 4:06 to play third quarter. Johnson Brock with a 13-point lead. They've led by as many as 17 just a moment ago before a little 4-0 spurt here by Ainsworth. Here's Dollenhouse, right side of the lane. It's blocked by Nelson, but now it's a foul as Nelson comes down holding his ankle.
Yeah, he might have came down on him and sprained his ankle. That was a great play there by Carter Nelson. He's down there. We call those a basketball sprain there, where he kind of fell on his player. He wants to walk it off a little bit. You hate to see that because it was such a great play to block him.
We have a media timeout on the floor. We'll step aside, come back in 90 seconds right after this on 93.7 The Ticket.
The good sports at Bison don't just manufacture sports equipment. Our employees watch, play, coach, and support student athletes at all levels. We're proud sponsors of the NSAA and big fans of the state basketball tournaments. Good luck to all the teams and welcome to Lincoln. If your team needs new basketball, volleyball, soccer, or other sports equipment, visit www.bisoninc.com or call 800-247-7668. Or pick up a basketball hoop for your driveway at Nebraska Sports or Shields.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
The Coach's Pep Talk. Done well, it creates strong team unity, improves motivation, and attitude. So when Platte Valley Equipment says they're here to help you succeed, you'll have their 100% support to help you handle any task with their John Deere equipment that gets the job done every time. And with low monthly payments, well, that should be some serious motivation to visit PlatteValleyEquipment.com. Proud sponsor of the 2024 NSAA Boys and Girls High School State Basketball Tournament. Welcome back in. Pinnacle Bank Arena, 3:54 to go in the third quarter. We'll see if Carter Nelson able to go back out there. He just landed awkwardly on his ankle. I think some Ainsworth folks wanted a foul. Just landed awkwardly as he walked it off. He's still walking a little gingerly, but he's back out there. So the 5 out there are the same that started the game as have played over 20 minutes of game time. As it's Nelson, Held, Schradel, McNally, and Apple for Ainsworth. 2 free throws at the line for Dollenhouse. Sorry,
that foul call there was something that, Ainsworth fans probably were, right to be upset about. Carter, it was a clean block, but then he fell to the ground on his own power. Then obviously Carter Nelson tried to make the really good play and get it off of him and out of bounds. But nevertheless, it's 2 free throws there for Johnson Brock.
So both free throws are good by JB. So now 36-21 your score as Johnson Brock leads by 15. As tip pass again. Kohler comes away with it up the floor to Pelican. Slow Pelican in the lane, blocked from behind, and that's an out of bounds.
Yeah,
should have been a travel, but it was out of bounds nonetheless.
Really good hustle there by Held. Probably upset at himself with the lazy passes. And if I'm, Coach Nelson, and obviously my guard play has got to get better. We got to get some more crisp passes, and we got to make sure that we work it around through Carter Nelson, but then also we got to get Apple going as well.
So on the right side, here's McNally. McNally, top of the key to Held. Held fires one into the free throw line underneath Schradel. Schradel in the lane, unable to get the layup to go, but the rebound caroms out to Nelson. Nelson now to McNally. Nelson still struggling with that sore ankle that he twisted just a moment ago. As here's McNally, right side inside, now back out to Nelson. Nelson underneath. Schradel can't hold on to it, but gets it back. 3-ball. Apple on the way. He's fouled with the bucket.
That's what you want. Late close out there by Camden Dallinghouse there. It led to a foul. Great pass there by Carter Nelson. If I'm Coach Nelson, his dad, I'm going to watch Carter and see what we can do to use him as a passer and a playmaker while he tries to be on the mend with that ankle. You might need to go in and try to get it taped there real quick. and then come back and he's walking a little gingerly, and he's able to get up and down the court, pretty fast there when he had that big block. So I think he's getting some tape on there, and it's probably just a little bit of a shock to the system. But good job there by Ainsworth.
Yes, so Nelson subs out as Apple completes the 4-point play. And I think because of Nelson on the bench taping that ankle, Coach Nelson wants to call a timeout. It's going to be a full timeout. So 3:02 to go in the third quarter. Ainsworth trails by just 11. We'll step aside for 60 seconds and come right back.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Nick Sander, Jay Foreman back with you from Pinnacle Bank Arena as it's 36-25. Johnson Brock with the lead. Carter Nelson still getting his ankle taped on that sideline. So on the left side here is Kohler. Kohler dribbles to his left, gets guarded by Apple, spinning around, looking for help. And now we'll have a foul on Held as Pelican fell down on the pass.
Yeah, Apple and Held and Pelican have been going at it a little bit. Held wanted to try to get the steal there to try to keep the momentum on Ainsworth's side there, but a little bit of a body foul there, good honest foul, and you like the uptick in energy there, right, from Ainsworth. A little bit of a run. Now you're seeing a little bit of extended pressure as well. They know they have to up the pace on both ends.
So 2:43 to go in the third quarter, 36-25. Johnson Brock with the lead in the basketball as Kohler has it near the logo. On the left side, it's now Myers. Myers into the game, right side. Dollenhouse to Kohler. Kohler gets cut off, back out Dollenhouse. Dollenhouse in the lane, pushes off a little bit now to Kohler. Kohler spins around, gives it back to Dollenhouse. 2:22 to go, 36-25. Johnson Brock with the basketball here in the third quarter as Kohler will slow it down. 2:12 to go in the third. Left side, it's Dollenhouse. Gets poked away from behind, and McNally gets whistled for the foul.
Yeah, McNally thought he had him right there. Good job there trying to set him up, poked it from behind. Called body on that, man. That's a tough call right there. But, regardless, Johnson Brock keeps control of the ball. But I liked it more of a defensive intensity there from Ainsworth, trying to up the pace, trying to get them to make a mistake to try to get some easy runouts.
So Nelson back into the game as he blocks the shot immediately out front to Schradel. Schradel in transition, posts up, hesitates, layup too strong, just missed it.
Yeah, he smoked that layup there. Good job there trying to get it up off the glass. I think he got intimidated by Kohler coming back on defense.
So Nelson looks to be moving a little bit better with that taped ankle now on the left side as Dollenhouse makes the defender fall, can't hit the jumper, and Nelson jumps high for the rebound.
Yeah, Ainsworth is making a little bit of run here. Let's see if they can get a quick basket. There you go. There's the guy that we talked about that needed to get going in the second half. That's McNally, and you start to hear the fans behind him starting to see Ainsworth show some life here. We got a ball game.
So here on the right side, here's Pelican. It's 36-27. It's single digit, and Ainsworth on a 6-0 run. Here we go. His left side, it's Kohler. Kohler, while Johnson Brock 0 for their last 4 from the field. Kohler has on the far side. Kohler, right wing, looking around, finds help in Van Winkle. Van Winkle passes right side Myers. Myers guarded by Apple. Top of the key is Dollenhouse. Dollenhouse working on Nelson, drives in the lane. Shot blocked again.
Yeah.
As Nelson was just a ball hawk. Nelson grimacing while he runs down the floor.
Nick, you talk about steals, right? Where we thought Kohler has 5 steals. Carter Nelson's up at 4 or 5 blocks here. That's just like a steal.
Here's Apple for 3.
Oh, there he is. They are back in the ball game.
It's 36-30.
Oh, yeah, we got a ball game here.
Third.
We have got a ball game. Great job there, turning the turnover into 3 points. Apple starting to get it going. McNally This is the ball game that we came here for.
So here is Dollenhouse. Almost got his pocket picked by Schradel. Schradel playing there with 2 personal fouls here, and now he's going to pick up foul number 3.
Yeah, Schradel's over aggressive. Coach Nelson trying to get him to settle down, but I like the intensity in it. But only the bad thing about it is you're putting Camden Dallenhouse at the free throw line, and he's a pretty good free throw shooter. So 20 seconds left. So, Ainsworth is in a good position to get into this lead. You got to think they were down by 17 right now, presently only down by 6. So you like the ability to fight back, led by 2 threes by Appleton and the defensive prowess of Carter Nelson.
First one on the way. It's good for Dollenhouse.
Nick, we talked about Kohler having 6 steals. Carter Nelson has 5 blocks, and those blocks are equivalent to steals because the thing about him that it's really good, he can hang in the air, and when he blocks them, he actually probably taps them to his teammates. They're not blocks trying to send out of bounds, so he does a good job there on the defensive end.
So Dallenhouse makes both free throws. It's 38-30 with less than 20 to play in the third quarter. Here we go. Ainsworth down by 8. They've trailed by as much as 17, as Jay mentioned. McNally on the left side looking for help. Gets it down low to Held to Morgan. Kinney, who's into the game. Kinney left side to McNally. McNally
going.
Working 3 on the game clock. He pulls up
foul,
for 3.
another foul.
And he's fouled from the left wing, and he'll go to the line to shoot 3 shots.
Coach Dallenhouse is upset at Camden Dallenhouse. A little bit of lazy attention to detail there on the closeout. Got him huge with the body. I think it was a foul even before the shot. So good bailout there because Ainsworth looked a little bit stuck in the mud there, and now they got their best free throw shooter at the free throw line.
So McNally, first one, can't hit the first. 2 more coming for Trey McNally.
If I'm Ainsworth, I have to make a goal. I got to make every single free throw down the stretch. You're not going to get many attempts here in the fourth quarter, and then we got to be excellent on the defensive end.
Second free throw also no good.
Yep, that's McNally's been a little bit off, and you'd like to think that he could step up and hit those, but he's got to get to hit the last one. He only got 1.3 seconds left.
Third one for McNally. That one's good. It's 38-31. 1.3 on the clock. One-handed heave down the court, and it's no good. And so at the end of the third quarter, your score, the Johnson Brock Eagles 38 and the Ainsworth Bulldogs 31 here in the Class D1 title game right here on 93.7 The Ticket. Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new openings in sales, marketing, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Full-time roles offer a 4.5-day work week, along with flexible internships in most areas. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Find your fit today at www.sandhills.jobs.
Hey guys, it's Bill Bush. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty has opened a new location in Pender, Nebraska, in addition to their office in Lincoln. The real estate world can be confusing, so why wouldn't you want an expert helping you every step of the way? If you're looking to buy or sell farmland in Nebraska, Kansas, or Iowa, give Ethan Sorensen a call today at 402-380-0432 or visit them online at nextagrealestate.com. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty with locations in Lincoln and now Pender, Nebraska.
Nick Sander, Jay Foreman back with you. Start of the fourth quarter here in Class D1 title game action. Johnson Brock leads Ainsworth 38-31 as we enter the final period of play. Jay, you look at Ainsworth, Trey Apple, 17 points on 50% from the field.
Yeah, he started to get going there. 2 big threes. That's what you expect out of him. He's been the main cog in their team all year, and so you wanted to see him get it going to go with Carter Nelson, especially when Carter Nelson was out on the men. But I think McNally, he hit a 3 and then started to get going and got on the scoreboard with 6 points, and obviously you'd like to see him hit those other two free throws. And so if I'm, Ainsworth, I'm trying to still listen. This is the fourth quarter. There's no turning back. We got to up the pace and take some more chances.
So Johnson Brock will have the basketball to start. Up by 7 here in the fourth quarter. Here is Dollenhouse. Down low, Dollenhouse gets Nelson to jump in the air, and the layup is good. It's 40-31.
Yeah, good job there by Johnson Brock getting it to Camden Dollenhouse. A little ball fake there. Second time that's worked against those Twin Towers inside there, Ainsworth.
So on the top of the key, here is McNally. McNally throws it to Nelson on the elbow. Nelson working on That is Kohler. Drives left side, layup in the lane.
Yeah.
Good, tough shot by Nelson. He converts.
Yeah, with the ease, the size, strength, and explosiveness going up against a pretty good defender in Kohler. There are easy 2 points to answer Johnson Brock out of this fourth quarter start.
So here on the right side, that is number 30, Behrens, with it. Kohler now top of the key. Kohler in the lane. Shot high off the glass. Can't get it to go over the taller Nelson. Nelson still coming down sometimes awkwardly on that left ankle. But we have a foul on the floor on Johnson Brock.
Yeah, man. I mean, for Carter Nelson, he's trying to gut this out, try to give his team a chance to, get a state title. But for a guy with a hurt ankle, when he can turn it up, man, he is up there like Anthony Edwards. He can sky, man. That's a pretty impressive athlete right there.
So McNally will bring it across the timeline, passes left side to Apple. Apple to Nelson. Nelson with 6:58 to go with Ainsworth down by 7. Nelson turns, fades away, jumper no good. Just couldn't get his legs under that one. As now with 6.5 to play in the fourth, it's 40-33. Johnson Brock with the lead and the balls. Now Johnson Brock hands it off. This is Dallinghouse. Dallinghouse to Behrens. Behrens now to Kohler. Kohler dribbles towards the top of the key, gives it to Dallinghouse. Dallinghouse guarded by Apple. Now to Pelican. Pelican down the right side of the lane, and the layup is good, 42-33.
Yeah, good little dribble handoff there between Pelican and the Dallinghouse twins. They caught Ainsworth in the defensive exchange and got an easy basket for the senior there.
So Nelson will walk it slowly across the half-court line. Eagles lead by 9 over Ainsworth as Nelson crosses over, passes left side now to McNally. McNally will drive center of the lane, stops, hesitates in the lane, can't hit the layup. Offensive board, Schradel. Schradel out to the perimeter now, and he'll retreat, set up the offense with Apple. Apple has it, driving, and he gets bumped on the floor by Leighton Behrens.
All right, now you're starting to see that we've got about 6 minutes left, and you start to see Ainsworth trying to take advantage of man-to-man defense by Johnson Brock, and so Carter Nelson's on the men, so I'm trying to use him in more of a decoy as a secondary player. I got to get Trey, Apple, and McNally going here to try to make this comeback.
So McNally on the left side to Nelson. Nelson, cross-court pass taken away, tipped away, and we have a foul now. They're going to call it on Schradel.
Yeah, the fans behind it don't like that call. Schradel doesn't like it either. He was trying to go catch the ball, lost the handle on it, and I think he picked up his fourth foul.
Yep.
And so he's their defensive stopper. He hasn't been able to get on the scoreboard yet, but he's got to keep his head in the game, and Coach Nelson's got to be wary of if he has to bring Finney back off the bench.
So here, top of the key, it's Kohler. Kohler passes right side to Dallinghouse. Dallinghouse with it back to Kohler. Kohler on the day, 14 points. Gives it to Pelican. Pelican passes now to Dallinghouse. Dallinghouse to his brother now on the right wing to Dallinghouse. Left side, Kohler. He'll dribble top of the key. 5:24 to go in the fourth quarter. 42-33 your score is on the right side here. We get a bump and a foul on the floor as Dallinghouse goes flying into the media row.
Yeah, Dallinghouse, they just ran a dribble handoff, 3-man weave there, and this is what used to be the old 4-corner offense, Nick, way before your time to kind of try to kill time. You got your 3 best players out there, Dallinghouse twins and Kohler handling the ball majority of the time, putting a lot of stress on this Ainsworth defense.
So Pelican to inbound, and we have a travel on Kohler.
Yeah, the first really big turnover there you've seen by Johnson Brock, and where it came from was the pressure defense with Ainsworth. Good job by Trey Apple putting pressure on Kohler and trying to deflect the pass, which caused him to travel a little bit. Now you got Schrodel on the bench, and here comes Finney, a little bit more shooting ability. And so you see Coach Nelson trying to get a little bit more spark in the offense.
So 5:09 to play, fourth quarter, 42-33. Johnson Brock trying to go back-to-back. Jumper on the way, no good by McNally, and it's tipped into the hands of Behrens, and Behrens gets it for Johnson Brock. Up the floor we go with Dallinghouse. Dallinghouse now on the right side, guarded by Carter Nelson. Survives the poke from behind. Now the jumper off back iron, no good, and McNally gets bumped and fouled by Behrens.
Right, you're right. I know Johnson Brock doesn't like that call, but it was all body there. Good rebound there by McNally, and they thought they were or Johnson Brock thought they had advantage on Ainsworth. Came in and shot the ball probably a little bit quicker than Coach Dallinghouse wanted. Missed it. Good rebound there by the point guard after Carter Nelson went for the steal.
So Ainsworth with the basketball after the foul. Here we go is on the right side. It's Nelson, 4:42. Left side, jumper. McNally can't get it to fall.
Yeah, I'd like to probably run things through Trey Apple here moving forward just because if he has the size and strength to possibly get something inside and also a three-point play.
Before that, we have a timeout on the floor. It's a 30-second timeout. We'll step aside for 30. It's 42-33. Johnson Brock out in front of Ainsworth.
Here you go. Coffee's on me and my new BFF. I thought I was your best friend forever. BFF like best financial friend at Members Own Credit Union. Right now, they're offering $100 when you consolidate or transfer a loan or an existing credit card balance and meet requirements. Plus, you get great rates and free advice from a financial partner that will put you first.
That sounds like a match made in heaven.
Members Own Credit Union is the type of bestie you can count on. Get started today at memberzonecu.org/BFF. Limitations may apply. Equal housing opportunity.
Nick Sander, Jay Foreman back with you from Pinnacle Bank Arena. Make sure you join us about 20 minutes after this conclusion of the D1 game for the C1 game. Actually, it might be 30 minutes now today. It's C1 game between Wahoo, the Warriors, going up against the Auburn Tigers. No, not Tigers.
Yeah,
it's Auburn Tigers.
Yeah.
Just like the college team.
Yeah,
I thought
you
I got
don't
it
want to
messed
be
up
them,
for a
though,
moment.
because they win too much. The Auburn Tigers and the SEC don't win anything.
There you go. So now we have a foul on the floor on Ainsworth.
Yeah, they got a body foul there, but you know what? Camden Dowlinghouse was tickling out of bounds there. We've seen this as a theme over the girls' state championships and the obviously the first 3 days, and the boys were some untimely, unforced errors at stepping out of bounds, but I got bailed out there with that call.
It's the Auburn Bulldogs.
Oh, Bulldogs.
Bulldogs. Yeah. Tigers are in the SEC. That's why I felt like that didn't feel right. Anyway, foul once again on the floor, this time on Apple.
Thanks for
that's
the
gonna be
Nick.
That's going to be number 4. That's going to be number 4 on the Ainsworth Bulldogs this quarter.
Yeah, and this is where you run into a little bit of trouble. You start to pick up fouls quickly against a really guard-heavy team here with Kohler and the Dowlinghouse twins, and then also Pelican can hit free throws as well.
So on the left side here is Dowlinghouse. Dowlinghouse dribbles to the top of the key, hands it off now to Myers. Myers gives to Pelican, back to Dowlinghouse. 4:01 to play in the fourth quarter, Class D1 title game. Dowlinghouse splits the double team, gets to Kohler. Kohler left side now. Here is Pelican in the lane, stops, gets it to Myers. Myers gets taken away by Held. Here comes Held. Ainsworth does not have numbers. Nelson goes right at the glass. The layup in the lane is good with the foul.
Carter Nelson finding a way to keep his team in the game, man. He's getting a badge of honor today. Got a compromised ankle there, and he's picking his spots and when he wants to push through it. But a great play there. Listen, when you're 6'5", about 15, 20, to be able to contort your body with a bad ankle and draw the foul on the make is a pretty good deal. Now they're only down by 7. He's got to make the free throw.
So now the free throw no good by Carter Nelson. A little bit of frustration on the face of Carter Nelson. He has 12 points, 0 for 4 now from the free throw line.
Yeah.
So now here is Dowlinghouse with it on the right side. Cross-court pass all the way to the near side corner. Now left side Dowlinghouse. 3:27 to play in the fourth quarter as McNally tries to bump him. And now McNally's going to be called for the foul.
Yeah, that could have been an offensive foul there on Camden Dowlinghouse there because he extended the elbow and he dipped him into the shoulder, and McNally, tried to draw the charge on him, but nevertheless got bailed out there by that call once again.
So 2 free throws from here on out for Johnson Brock as they try to go back-to-back here in state championships. So first
Nick,
one's good.
You mentioned Carter Nelson being 0 for 4 from the free throw line. The whole team is 3-9 at 33%. When you look at Johnson Brock, a little bit of announcer's jinx there, but they're going to end up 8 for 10.
Yeah,
those are free points when you're trying to get back into the game, and it's been apparent. I don't know whether it's the depth perception and the different, gym, obviously, than a lot of these teams. But teams, I think, overall have shot a lower percentage than what they did coming in.
So here's McNally on the right side. McNally hesitates, stops, 3-ball near corner. Got it.
He's starting to get going. He's starting to play with a lot more confidence. Here to come the Bulldogs. 3 minutes left. Carter Nelson led the Bulldogs. You got to see if they can get over the hump and get one more defensive stop.
It's a 6-point differential, 44-38, 2:57 to play in the fourth quarter. Here's Johnson Brock. Pelican with the basketball. Pelican hands it off to Kohler. Kohler spins out of it. Kohler on the left side. Now to Myers. Myers to Pelican. Pelican looking around, fakes right, goes left. Pelican in the lane, layup on the glass is no good, but the blocking foul is called on Held.
Yeah, that's the right call. I know Ainsworth fan base wanted that to be a charge, but Held was about a step or two too late Aggressive play there by Pelican. You thought they were going to try to bleed the clock, but you know what? Coach Dallinghouse feels confident in all his players out there. And also a sub here where he's taken out Barons and he's brought in Van Winkle because he wants guard play down the stretch, right? And so when you think you have was it Camden Dallinghouse, you have Pelican, right? And Casey Dallinghouse, excuse me, and then Kohler. That's who's going to lead him down the stretch to try to win this game.
So how about that? Pelican misses both free throws, so it's still a 6-point ball game. Ainsworth coming back the other way. Apple on the right side, spins, looking for help, trying to get it. He finds Kinney, now to Nelson. Finds McNally. McNally screen left from Nelson. McNally steps back, another three on the way. Got it!
There's McNally. Look, he came in averaging, I think, 17 points. We have a ball game here, and that Dallinghouse is trying to get Camden Dallinghouse back in, so it's either going to be a quick timeout right here. The pressure, the walls of Jericho is slowly but surely coming on Johnson Brock.
44-41 your score. 2:09 to play in the fourth quarter. Johnson Brock takes a full timeout. We'll step aside for 60 seconds and come right back on 93.7 The Ticket.
Yeah.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Nick Sander, Jay Foreman back with you from Pinnacle Bank Arena. 2:09 to play in the fourth quarter. 44-41 your score. Johnson Brock out in front by 3 over Ainsworth as Pelican inbounds it into the backcourt to Kohler. Kohler will bring it across the timeline. Kohler on the left side. Passes the left side now to Dallinghouse. Dallinghouse hands it to his brother now on the right side. It's number 5, Camden Dallinghouse. Guarded by Kinney. Camden gives it off to Kaysen. Kaysen gives it to Kohler. Kohler, top of the key. Back to Kaysen Dallinghouse. Dallinghouse with the logo to Camden Dallinghouse. 1:39 to play in the fourth quarter. Here's Dallinghouse on the right side.
Yeah, a little stall action here. If I'm Ainsworth, I'm not gonna overstep myself. I'm gonna go into quick double team right here and try to get it in somebody's ball hand. I want to see what Van Winkle or Barron or Aarons can do.
And now we have a foul on Carter Nelson as he just kind of ran over Dallinghouse unintentionally, but Dallinghouse scored the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, it was an accidental foul, and Dallinghouse. I mean, for Johnson Brock, you got the player that you want at the free throw line, and is Camden Dallinghouse. And so, if I'm Ainsworth, if he happens to miss 1 or 2, I'm trying to when we do score, if we do score, excuse me, I'm trying to see if Leighton Barons how much he wants to handle the ball down the stretch. So you got to, I guess, forecast that you're going to be down by, let's say, 5 points, right? So we got to get it up and down the court. It's got to go through Apple and Carter Nelson with McNally as the open shooter, and then every shot that we got a defensive rebound and full court extended press, and then we got to think about a possession of the ball, right? Jump balls and stuff like that. Try to get an extra possession out of this game.
So here comes Carter Nelson. Nelson 1 rebound away from a double-double today as Nelson has it on the left side. Lost the basketball, got it back, now loses it for good. As here comes Kohler. Kohler in the lane, and he's fouled with the bucket.
Yeah, Kohler had a really good finish there. Good double team there on Carter Nelson. Carter Nelson isn't happy about that. A little bit loose with that ball handling. That might be the nail in the coffin. Finney tried to come back and swipe it. Good, strong finish there by Kohler to extend the lead to 7 points, possibly 8 at the free throw line. Championship pedigree shown by here Johnson Brock.
Kohler at the line. 1 free throw to go to put Johnson Brock up by 8. And how about that little 5-0 spurt now?
Yeah.
They were just up by 4-3, excuse me.
Yeah. I mean, they're the defending champions and undefeated for a reason. They have excellent guard play and heady play as well.
Here is McNally. McNally in the lane looking for help. Gets it to Apple. Apple steps back. Kinney down to Nelson. Nelson in the lane. Floater waiting on the way. It's good.
Big. You better guard. Good time out there. So good run stopper there by Ainsworth. Probably a little disappointed that they had the costly turnover there after the 2 free throws there by Camden Dallinghouse. And so now it's going to come down to possession, Nick, right? You got it. One thing you talk about in timeouts, right? On a jump ball, who gets the ball? We're going for steal, jump ball. So if we're not getting it on the jump ball, we're trying to get it to where there is a jump ball, so we'll get it on the next one. And then you have a certain time that you're going to foul and who you're going to foul. I mentioned Leighton Barons. You want to see if he can make it or Van Winkle, right? And so Pelican, Dallinghouse Twins, and Kohler can shoot free throws. And so you want to get it in guys that you might want to think that that can miss them. And Pelican missed his last 2, so let's see if he can hit 2 more.
49-43 your score, 45.5 on the game clock here in the fourth quarter. Class D1 title. Johnson Brock going for their back-to-back titles, while Ainsworth trying to get their first state championship since 2007 in a season where they will graduate Carter Nelson, Trey Apple, as well as Tragan McNally.
Yeah. I mean, this team has been led by Carter Nelson, everything tight end from Ainsworth, but Trey Apple and McNally are well-established players themselves right here. This situational basketball here that you got to be smart. And listen, you have a good opportunity to try to get back in this game if you can get a jump ball or a steal.
So 49-43 your score. Johnson Brock to inbound. They get it into Dallinghouse. Dallinghouse will get it poked away and fouled now from behind by McNally.
Yeah, you had to do that once you broke the press initially, and Camden Dallinghouse did a really good job of catching it on the run, getting up the sideline there, and McNally had to try to rally to get a poke behind, but he got him a little bit too much body. So right now, Nick, I'm a big fan of, you're down by 6, possibly 8. If you want to continue to put the pressure on Johnson Brock, especially in Class D1 without a shot clock, you got to get the 2 points. So I'm getting it up and down the court, Trey Apple or Carter Nelson, and if I have an open 3 for McNally, I'll shoot it, but I want to try to get 2 points here.
So Dallinghouse goes 1 of 2 at the free throw line, 40 on the game clock. Here comes Nelson. Nelson on the right side. Get it to McNally. McNally on the right side spins, and he is fouled by Pelican.
Yeah, if I'm Coach Dallinghouse, I don't really like that. I want to make them make a basket. A little bit of over aggression there by Pelican puts McNally at the free throw line where he struggled last time he was there.
So 33.8 on the game clock. 50-43 is your score. Ainsworth at the line with 2 free throws. McNally misses the first.
Yeah, free throws are huge, and you look at the overall team percentage, 3 of 10, you're down to 30%. And so you look at the difference of the game, right? You always look at things at what you can control. Free throws are free for a reason, and you got to hit them in championship games.
And he misses both. 50-43 as Apple goes to Dallinghouse, and they might not foul here. Now they've wasted a lot of time. Nelson trying to.
Yeah, they tried to foul him there in the backcourt, missed. Apple tried to foul him. The ref didn't see it. Tried to foul him there at half court, and finally Carter Nelson had to foul him aggressively to get the call. But really, to be honest with you, when you're in Class D1, C, and all these without the shot clock, and we'll talk about this maybe after the Class B, is that we saw this last week in the girls' state championship. Yeah. Once you're at a certain point differential and there's time left, it's really, really hard to really come back unless the team really gives you a lot of help to come back. And Johnson Brock is a very good team, very well coached, and a lot of experience. So it's hard for it to come back when you're down by even at 4 points.
So Nelson, top of the key, fires from the top, and it's no good. It goes out of bounds. And it'll be Johnson Brock basketball. They are up by 9 with 14 on the game clock. And they are so close to going back-to-back.
Yeah, because they could turn it over right now and just throw it in the other court. And 8 seconds, the game would be over.
Ainsworth going to foul again with 13 on the game clock. And so we'll go do it again. And Johnson Brock faithful starting to feel it.
Yeah, they've been in this position before. They are 20 27-0 on the way to 28-0. And you got to think, they've been very consistent all year. When they got here, they beat Pawnee City. We doubled them up. They won their district championship by 16 points. Every team that they faced, they've had, I wouldn't say an easy time with, but they found a way to gut them out. I mean, Fall City, Sacred Heart was really close with, and that's 14 points. And so to beat Weeping Water by, 66 to 15. So this is a really good, well-oiled machine here.
Here on the left side, it's McNally. Jumper on the way. It's good. 4 seconds on the game clock. They won't inbound it. And Johnson Brock goes back-to-back as they win the 2024 Class D1 state championship title. They have currently a 36-game winning streak.
Yeah.
And Johnson Brock, they defeat Ainsworth 52-45 to go back-to-back.
Yeah, the Ainsworth Bulldogs. They gave them all that can handle. They came out of the gates like you usually see, like we've seen with the lower seeded teams. Johnson Brock showed championship pedigree, came back on him, and then Ainsworth Bulldogs made a run on them again themselves. And so, when you talk about championship games, you want a competitive game, and this is more than competitive. For against Johnson Brock. So. Ainsworth obviously is a little disappointed, dejected, but they showed that they're well worth being here, and great effort by Carter Nelson battling through an ankle injury. But the almost four-headed monster of the Dowling-House twins, Kohler, and then obviously Pelican led the way, and timely threes, which they got going really, really good in the first half, and took advantage of some of mishaps there by Ainsworth. When you think of Kohler, having 6 steals and leading to 12 points off of fast break points, and then you think the point differential in the game is 7, you can say that won or lost the game. And so, listen, Johnson Brock is here to stay. They are a well-oiled machine, and they've worked really hard at it. And also, you want to give them a lot of credit because they've battled. And to win 36 games in a row, Nick, is not by chance. It takes a lot of courage, heart, and humbleness to do it, because at times, you can think like it's rinse and repeat, right? Oh, we'll just show up and win. But they went out and earned every victory they've had, not only in the regular season, but the playoffs. So congrats to them.
Once again, your final score in the Class D1 title game, Johnson Brock 52 and Ainsworth 45. The leading scorer for Johnson Brock was number 11, Brody Kohler, a 6'2 sophomore. He finishes with 19, while the Dowling-House, number 5, Camden Dowling-House, finishes with 15. Kaysen, his brother, finishes with 8 points on the day. Right. Carter Nelson, future Husker, 14 points, 7 of 13 from the field and 10 rebounds. Trey Alpelt with 17 points on 6 of 12 from the field with just 5 rebounds. Ainsworth had 4 guys with 4 fouls. None of them fouled out, though, here in the Class D1 title game. All right, that'll do it for us. Stick with us. We'll go ahead and send it back to our 93.7 The Ticket Studios. Huge thanks to Harrison Arns back in our studios, pushing all the buttons as we get ready for Class C1 action next between Wahoo and the Auburn Bulldogs, coming up in just a little under 30 minutes of real time right here on 93.7 The Ticket.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future,